What's going on, everybody? It is 8 o'clock on the East Coast. Check, check. And my audio got a little bit weird. It is 7 p.m. here in balmy Minnesota. Man, it's been hot here. I know you didn't tune in for a weather update, but like I was promised seasons and a nice fall. It was in the 90s this weekend and even like mid 80s today. Messing with me. Welcome tonight. I apologize. Speaking of different times and all of that, I screwed up it's 8 p.m. Eastern. It's always 8 p.m. Eastern. And my StreamYard is smart. StreamYard knows where I'm at. So I put in 8 o'clock, but it knows I'm in the central time zone. My work email does not. So I'm like constantly in this battle of like doing math. And is this what every person like west of the Eastern time zone has to deal with like constantly in life? Like TV schedule is this way. Anyway, I also work remotely from home for East Coast clients. So forgive me. I apologize. I put it in wrong, but you all will see that it's live and maybe you have the notifications selected and if not, there's a replay. That's cool too. How are you? I hope that you're well. I am doing really well. I'm exhausted, but really, really invigorated, if that makes sense. I've been working like crazy. I've got Tinley coming up this week. I'm physically very, very tired. I haven't slept very much, and I haven't really. I was going to say I really haven't stopped working. I certainly haven't taken a day off in probably about a month now. Just between moving, working, renovating the Snake Room. And there was some daylight this week that I thought I would see. And then, of course, which is a good thing, it's that Tinley's coming. And one of my good buddies, Jesse Music, I was talking to him a few days ago. And he said, sometimes things feel overwhelming because you're leveling up and because you're accomplishing new things and you're not used to that. That's pretty cool. I don't know if it's true, but it's pretty cool. I like the idea. So that's what I'm going to chalk it up to tonight. Thank you all for being here. You've seen the thumbnail. I mean, I was going to say the cat's out of the bag, the rat's out of the bag. We're going to talk about this new business venture. Taylor from Chakra Scales is here. He's in the green room. He is my new, it's not new to us. We've actually been cooking this up for quite a while. He is my business partner in this endeavor. So he's going to join the show and we're going to talk through that here in just a little bit. We'll get through the announcements first. So thank you for being here. That's kind of the show tonight, but it's Tinley. Like I'm balancing all these, like I say, these different things that are encouraging and invigorating me right now. So a bunch of quick updates. New Snake Room is going well, man. Drywall is kicking my butt. I don't know what I'm doing in there. I'm learning taping, mudding, sanding as I go. And I just fear it's going to be a disaster of a ceiling. What my wonderfully encouraging wife reminded me of is how horrible the place looked when I got it. And there's really no way I could make it look that bad again, even with the work that I'm doing. So what I'm trying to balance is not getting caught up in cosmetic stuff that's not going to make a difference in how I'm able to sell snakes in the future, and letting go of some perfectionist craftsman stuff that I'm not a craftsman at. So anyhow, I'm working on that. I'm working through that. That's going on. The mini split is in. So the HVAC, I got to give a shout out. If you guys are looking for a heating or an AC solution, especially in a smaller place, the Mr. Cool mini splits are really great. I had one in Florida. I like the one here. The 4th generation ones will heat efficiently to their full SEER rating down to -13. That's pretty cold. I mean, even for, Minnesota weather here. So I was excited about that. The good news is there's a company called Ingram's. I think it's called Water and Air, or Ingram's Heat and Air. If you Google Ingram's Air, and I think they're out of Indianapolis, they're actually the warehouse handlers for Mr. Cool, and they run all of Mr. Cool's scratch and dents and returns. And they're fully warranted, fully guaranteed. They're going to have a dent. They're going to have a scratch here and there. But you can rate your grade of scratch and dent, A, B, and C. And anyhow, I don't know the exact of retail price. The unit I got was $1,000 off of retail for a 4th gen 12,000 BTU Mr. It's 5-year and 7-year. One's compressor, one's parts and labor. But anyway, I like the product, and I'm not affiliated with them. I'm just a fan. That's the second one that I bought. So that got put in this week. So I got the epoxy floor. I got the new ceiling on. I got it mudded. I got to sand it, and I got the HVAC in. I'm close, man. I'm really close. That's coming. Tinley coming up this weekend. Huge shout out to Robin Markland. He's a force of nature, man. So Robin at Redline Shipping, obviously very good to me. Obviously, I'm affiliated with them. You'll see the promo code and all that. You know, I'm a big fan of Redline. Robin made it happen that I have a table at Tinley. My own banner, my own space, and I will tell you behind the scenes for a long time, Chris at B and S Reptilia and I were working on how we were going to get a table. And if one of us could get a table, we were going to split it with the other one. And at the last minute, that looks like that's going to happen. So Chris is going to be there vending with me as well. He's going to have some cool colubrids and boas. And I just have to say cool because I don't even know what species he's bringing. If you know Chris, he's got a little bit of everything, and he's good at a whole lot of things, super well respected. I'll be real happy to see this come to fruition. So come see me and Chris at the Redline tables in the lobby in front of the Proper Royals banner. If that's not convoluted enough, I don't know what it is. There's going to be cool snakes, and they might be the most affordable ones. I was looking at my stock. It's a good problem. I've sold a lot of really good stuff, but I got plenty of cool stuff. I'm taking 3 full ARS displays, and then Chris will have his display as well. So come see us. Thank you, Robin. I appreciate it. On top of Robin doing that, like I say, he's kind of a force of nature. He was live with Chris Eaton last night. We filmed a show today. He's doing a live, maybe even right now, with Cusco and Flawless Exotic Creations. The guy is just a promo machine. So he brought myself and Nikki Smith, who is the reptile curator for Josh's Frogs. I don't know if you guys realize the magnitude of the operation that Josh's Frogs is. Many millions of dollars of gross revenue each year, 1 year. A packing facility the size of your average Walmart. That's just a packing facility. It's incredible the magnitude of the scale that Josh's Frogs is. So I was excited to make that contact. We put out a video today, myself, Nikki Smith, and Robin Markland. That's over on YouTube now. Go check that out. All in preparation for Tinley this week. Speaking of Jesse music, Jesse's got some cool bangers available. Check this out. Give me 1 second. I'm like I say, I'm a little out of my sorts. I'm gonna find it because I want to do it justice. He sent me a list of some animals that he's ready to move. I'll tell you that much. Don't you love dead air when you're on by yourself? I'm sorry, guys. I should be more up on this. I made some promises though that I intend to keep here real quick. There we go. All right, check this out. Jesse Music, musical pythons. Musical pythons, what you would look for on Instagram. Let me see. I'm just going to read it for you. Super Inchy yellow belly pied female. These are all females ready to go. Check with Jesse. See what he's asking for. They're on his Instagram page right now. Super Inchy yellow belly pied female. Fire Inchy leopard clown female. Fire leopard clown female, pastel spot nose Inchy leopard ghost female. Good Lord, I got to make some money at Tinley so I can, holy cow. And an Inchy mystic clown female. You guys can rewind and pause and review that stuff. Jesse Music, musical pythons on Instagram. What else at Tinley? I got to say, just a shout out to the kind of the Florida crew that was all just so good to me. I'm sure I'll forget some names, but I know that there's a van load or a caravan of Jeremy Bod, Steve Casino, Dale Richards, George MD, Miguel's coming up with them. I'm excited to see those guys, and every one of those guys did something for me on my journey to where I'm at. So I'm incredibly thankful, and I cannot wait to see them. I think the Kittingers will be there as well. So I'm really excited. We're going to go have a good time this week coming up. I need to make some money. I need to sell some snakes. So check out my LinkTree down below if you're in the market and want to check things out. I'm sorry I've neglected the chat because I've kind of run this like a solo show out of the gate, but I will catch up on the chat. I do appreciate everybody. I do read all the chats. Usually I when I'm cleaning the next day, I'll go back and listen to a show, both so I can learn from the guests, but also see what I can improve on. And that's when I also check out the chat. I see a couple new faces. Thanks for the new people stopping by, and thanks for hanging out tonight. Let's get on to it. What in the world is Adam up to? What is this business that Adam's cooking up? What is he doing? And why after years of proclaiming that I would have nothing to do with rats, am I in business, in the rat business, I'll say. I'm going to bring on Taylor. I don't have, this is just going to be kind of a free flowing hangout. We'll get to your questions and address those, how we ended up where we're at. And yeah, enough of that. Let me bring on Taylor, because he is equal parts of this. This is not, Adam big time in anybody. I literally can't do this with Taylor. Taylor could do this without me. So I'm thankful for Taylor's partnership. Let me bring him on. Taylor from Chakra Scales. You've seen him several times on the show before. Please welcome back to the Proper Royals stage. In this case tonight, for the first time ever, the Proper Rodents stage. Boom. I just did that. How about that?
What's going on, man? How we doing?
I am good, man. I'm a little loopy in the head. After the show, I'm going to drink a beer and maybe a strong one of those, craft IPAs that they kick up a little bit. And then I'm going to go to bed. I'm
Definitely
done. I'm toast. How are you doing, man? We actually haven't talked in a couple of days. You been all right?
Yeah, man. I'm doing great, man. Just enjoying life and really been excited for what's going on lately, actually.
It's, yeah, I've had a tough time like keeping it in because we've kept a pretty good secret, but we really, if I look back, like we've really kind of put the pedal down too. So yeah. How should we do this? Should we like outline where we're at right now, or should we go back and start at the start and then work towards where we're at now?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I would say like when it all started was it basically came about with the snakes. You'd reach out, asking me to help watch your snakes, obviously, while you're moving out here to Minnesota. And then along the lines, I don't know how it worked, how it came about for you, but on my end, you kind of reached out about, what would you think about it? And we just started going from there.
Yeah,
I think we saw a good like potential in each other as partners as well.
Yeah, that's definitely true, and that's a big topic of what we should talk about because I even said out loud, like, why do you need me? What benefit am I going to bring? Kind of, and maybe needs the wrong word, but like what help am I going to be? So we'll get to that. Yeah, the genesis for me. And a huge shout out to Tito at Tradesman Exotics in Jacksonville, Florida. He's a great breeder. Tradesman is the right handle for him because he is a craftsman and he's very particular. And he and I always clicked. Like we weren't like personal best friends. Although I messaged him the other day. I was like, man, I miss catching up with you for like 8 minutes a week when I pick up ASFs, It was something I had talked about with Tito. There's very few people that I've wanted to jump into business with, but Tito exemplified a lot of those things I would want to invest in. And I had it in my mind because I see in every like Facebook group and every chat that, where are rodents? How do we get rodents? What do we do for rodents? And I'm like, man, if there was the space and the time and the resources, I would get into the rodent game. And I've always joked that, not joked, it's completely true. I'm horribly allergic to the animals. I don't have a comfortability around them. Like I sorted ASFs with, I sorted rats with Taylor for the first time at his facility. a week or 10 days or whatever ago. So I'll do it. I'll jump in, I'll do the dirty work, and I'm going to figure it out. But that was kind of the genesis when I got here to Minnesota. I spent a little bit of time on the local Facebook groups asking what rodents are available, what prices do they go for, and that kind of thing. And it was funny because everybody thought I was like a lot of people were trying to sell me rodents. But then when I said, well, I want 200 of them. No, couldn't do it. No, couldn't do it. Nope. I go to the local, I won't say the name, but I go to the local, very well respected reptile shop in the region, regionally and probably nationally recognized. I didn't see them. Maybe they're sprinkled with gold, but they're charging $10 for an ASF. I don't know if they're getting it. Maybe that's the I don't want to sell it price. I don't know. Maybe they're like, well, we need holdbacks to build up our stock. So I don't know. But they were $10 a rodent for ASFs. But by that point, I knew Taylor pretty well, like to trust somebody with my collection. And I also didn't have a whole lot of alternatives. So like, it was a godsend. It wasn't just like, well, I guess I'll just trust somebody. Like it was like the good end of both. Like I could trust the right person, and it did work, and it was very good. And I'm eternally grateful. I don't know. I have no clue how the hell I would have moved to Minnesota with my animals without that, but that's a whole different conversation. So, then it was like, well, Taylor, do you breed rodents? And you were like, oh yeah. I got a 2-car garage out there with just rodents. Oh, really?
Yeah.
How long you been doing that? Well, 3 years. Oh yeah. What kind of snakes you got? What condition are they in? Oh, they're beautiful. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll keep some of the conversations private, but like, Taylor, what do you see yourself doing down the road? Well, being a really big player in this industry. All right. Now I'm interested. So, Chris says he averages $5. I think even at $5, either at volume or small orders, there's space to undercut the market, at least for us to get started while we are building our name and our brand. So it became clear to Taylor and I, and Taylor, jump in, because I'm just rambling at this point.
No, this is great.
But we started talking about goals, and one of the goals was, well, both of us need to be able to feed our collections first and foremost. Let's at least eliminate the cost. It doesn't make sense to bring money in just to throw it back out the window and call it revenue and expenses and come out with zero. That doesn't make any sense to do. So it was a question of timing. It was a question of volume and how we get to that volume. So you'd been working really diligently on your end on building the volume. You want to talk about that? What you had been doing?
Yeah. I mean, regardless, no disrespect to you, I was already going to do this.
Right.
I was already working towards this goal. Was a goal of mine. And then you came along, and you just helped it, 10 times full.
I was just like, yeah, I'll pour gasoline on this fire. Right. Like, what does that take to do?
I'm fired up. I got the space, I got the time. I got somewhat of the knowledge, and I'm definitely gaining the knowledge as well. So I think that with all those resources, and then with your expertise in like the marketing, sales, and well as well, if you're going to help out with delivery, that's going to be huge too. So I think we kind of both work out in a good way.
Yeah, I think so. And I think that there's some overlap. And as we got talking about that, it was like, well, all right, Taylor's got the facility, and something you said really clicked with me too, but you got the facility, you got the drive, you have the knowledge, but you said to me, where you want to go, you're going to have to bring somebody else on.
Yeah.
And that's 100%. When it clicked. I was like, well, if you're going to bring somebody else on, you may as well, who the hell better? You may as well bring me on.
Let's do it.
And if you love growing them, which I hear you say, everybody says they hate that part of it, but I hear you say, so then what could I bring? I could bring the delivery vehicle. I could bring some of the logistics planning. I could bring my platform, which you already had a platform too. So merging the two brand, or not even merging, just like we still have our own identities, but overlapping the brands on the rodent space, it just started clicking like fireworks.
Yeah.
And it was like, I remember even being apologetic because I never want to step, especially a partner, like neither of us are the boss. So I want to be like, I don't want to seem like cocky, but does proper royals is really close to proper rodents. And you're like, that's it. And I was like, okay, cool. I didn't know if I was going to feel bad or if you were going to feel like, wait a minute, Adam's coming in too strong here.
No. I mean, it was definitely like a thought in the background. But I was like, well, how can I kind of work in the name? But at the end of the day, you know, I know what value I'll bring. I know what value you'll bring. And then when you said it, I was like, it just like it clicked in the back of my head. I'm like, this is the perfect proper rodents. It was such a flow off the tongue.
Yeah, thank you. And I mean, it was total luck. Well, not total luck. It was total luck that it was going to hit rodents. Finn says, could somebody catch me up for a second? Is Adam breeding rodents? So for the latecomers, Taylor and I are in business now with proper rodents. Taylor's general lane, these are gray areas that can be intersected, but Taylor's general lane will be growing the rodents. My burden will be bringing in the money and delivering them. And the marketing will fall kind of between the two of us, and we're even partners. So that's the short version on all of that. Yeah, something else that I think that we both kind of clicked on too, as we get to know more and more of each other's story, is kind of a determination that we both have. Like maybe I won't speak for you, but for me, like maybe to a fault. Like if I get my head into something, if I fail at it, it's going to be that my finger is the last thing above water as I'm drowning, you know, because I just won't let go of things. And I generally don't fail at it. Doesn't mean I'm perfect at it. Doesn't mean it happens when I want to. My wife would tell you, you know, this is crazy stuff. You're probably going to get it done, but are you going to get it done fast enough for it to make sense? Well, okay, there's the challenge ahead of us. Like, when do we scale up enough to then make money enough and to make it make sense before we both lose our minds going, we have literally thousands of rodents. Like within 60 days, we'll have many thousands, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. I don't think, like I said, I don't think rodents, like the number of how many we're going to have is going to be the problem. I think the number of how many we don't have will be the problem.
I think so too. And
I hope.
I hope so. But there's also the old, hopefully growing the business as we grow our demand. We talked a fair amount behind the scenes of, we don't want to start marketing before we have anything to sell, which we're right on the cusp of right now, which is sort of where this timing is. Secondly, we don't want to overproduce so much that we're burdened with, oh man, we got to go buy freezers that we don't even have money for. And then, you know, which, like you say, I don't think will be a problem, but we were trying to time that. So timing was important as we were building our stock. So getting to that point where we could both use our own, our stock to feed our animals with, was kind of that first hurdle. And I think we'll be there in 2 or 3 more weeks. We timed my last frozen shipment with running out with when the production will sustain me pulling what I need from our production. And Mark from 403 Fun, I saw your question. We'll get there in just a second. And then the other thing that we had to time was trying to roll this out where it made sense. Chris at Epic Style made a good point of marketing at shows. I want to market the timing right. So we were trying to time the marketing, time the production, time our own needs. But then there was always the sticky situation of, and you guys could see their logo is still on the screen, of my pre-existing relationship with Cold Blooded Cafe. On the surface, they sell rats. We're going to sell rats. Could be a good conflict there, right? So for the record, I hope I did it the right way, but I absolutely was completely transparent with Cold Blooded. Clearly, I wouldn't be having this public conversation if I hadn't been transparent with them. And I got to say, to their credit, and I got to keep some of the conversations private, but paraphrasing, to the owner, and I think his title is the GM, to the two people that I do business directly with, both of them, and the owner immediately said, I don't see a problem with it. Congratulations that that's what you're going to be able to chase after. You're selling locally there in Minnesota. You're focusing on live. We sell nationally frozen. There's a lot of space in this industry, and you've done great by us. We want to do nothing but support you. I was terrified of that phone call. Like I mean, Taylor will tell you, I probably texted him 2 or 3 times. Like, you sure you want me to have this conversation? Like, we can grow, like, I'm going to have rats. Like, I'm potentially risking walking away from this.
Yep.
I need to be able to feed my collection. And he said, yeah, do it. I said, okay. So took that trust fall, and they were really great. So there was I think it's either the National or just called the Rattlesnake Conservancy. And their big event was in St. Augustine this weekend, and they might still be traveling. I'm not sure. So we had that. I laid that on them on Thursday, I believe. Yeah, for sure. It was Thursday. We had that conversation. Immediately they took my call. Immediately they were positive. Immediately we all threw our ideas on the table of what the future agreement would look like. And we all said, let's convene after the weekend. So that's where we're at. We haven't reconvened yet. And I won't go into any further details, but it just goes to show like how cool the great value of really good relationships. You just don't know when they're going to pay off. Do the right thing. All those things that you hear, like, just do it the right way. Like I could have, I guess, flown under the cover and, hidden secretly behind, Taylor being the face, and that probably, I don't know, I'm talking out loud, that probably would have worked, I guess. But to what good? And like, this industry is too small to be known as a schemer or a conniver or, whatever else. So anyhow, what I'm saying is, thanks to Cold Blooded Cafe, the Proper 10 promo code is still good for you. You're still going to get 10% off when you use it. And I'm still a huge fan of them, and you should trust them for your national frozen rodent needs. Mark asked earlier if we had any plans for nationwide shipping. I don't. I'm not saying I never would, but the scale and the scope of operation, both the production of rodents, but also like you got to be able to buy and store dry ice at such a massive quantity. And then there's legalities to shipping dry ice. FedEx considers frozen rats carcasses. You can't ship those. UPS doesn't. If you ever notice, Cold Blooded has to use UPS. I hope our problems are so great one day, or our opportunities are so great that we have to figure out how to solve those problems. And my heart is still at the ball pythons. This is still the funnel to pour the gasoline on the ball pythons, right? Exactly. I mean, for me,
totally.
So anyhow, that's kind of all that in a nutshell. Mark.
Shout out Keys and Boza.
All of these guys, like, there's so many people, man, there's 54 people up in here too, man. Yeah, good point. A ton of breeders got in. We know the market's flooded from ball pythons, but they all still got to eat. Lots of snakes. We got to feed them. And even if you think you're a snake guy or girl that is too good for ball pythons, I bet I know what your snake eats.
Yeah, still eats the rats.
Still eats the rats. So where's our from a general capacity standpoint, where are we now, and where do you think we're going to get to, and where will what's the timeline on that? Or we could talk through that topic if you want.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we decided to launch like during the busiest time of the year for like reptile breeders and whatnot, Arlington and Tinley, within weeks of each other. We do. I think we should give a shout out to Joe. Joe has been really helping us with a lot of different stuff, breeding wise with rats. So he's been
That's
very
at
consistent.
that's a JSA reptiles. JSA reptile.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
always either pythons, reptiles, or exotics, and I mix them all up.
yeah.
Yeah. We again trying to do it the right way. I mean, the town is a small town, as big as it is. Yeah.
I wanted to be very, like, transparent with everything. That was one of the first things I told you. I was like, I want to let them know, I don't want to be no competition. I just want everyone to support each other. I don't want to take over or anything like that. But, I feel like we both looked at it and we saw there was a need for the market. Not everyone can produce as much as possible needed. So, we're going to be here to help out, whatever needs to be. And we're going to market it and we're going to blast it. And we're going to put our name out there everywhere.
Yeah. And I'm not going to name any specific names, but several of the local kind of big volume breeders that I talked to in the area, the general consensus was, I'm not going to expand my facility. I got the customers I need. And there's still tons of people that I turn away that want, there's people driving to other states to get their rodents. Like,
yeah.
Okay, great. Now then, can we do some business? And how can we, what's the check going to be to start some colonies? Now that we've been upfront, now that we've been honest, and to Joe's, I don't think it's any problem to say, I'm not going to say the prices or anything, but Joe was a helpful catalyst in that and very encouraging. So again, another example of great relationships,
Just like what you were kind of fearing with the conversation with Cold Blooded, that was kind of a conversation I was fearing with Joe, because I look up to him as a mentor and someone that's helped me start from the beginning, and I didn't want to like step on his toes or anything like that. But I don't think that one person can do it all. We have to help out each other,
and that's at the core of. It's probably easier for me to say in this partnership, but to your point, on any scale where we're going to make money or go beyond breeding just for our own collection. Austin's asking where this will be. This will be the greater Twin City metro area, east
central Minnesota.
Yes. I mean, east to Wisconsin, south to Iowa. I mean, I got the 4-wheel drive Toyota Tacoma. Let's do this thing, man. I'm ready. Like put some miles on this thing. Scaling up beyond just what we would need for our own collections, I truly believe would require more than one person, I think.
Yeah.
And
100%.
So at that point, with the resources we had, and I was going to say full transparency, partial transparency. I bought, purchased, compensated. I bought into what Taylor and I felt was the existing valuation. And then I was able to help invest a little bit more so that we could kind of do that gasoline on the fire thing. And that's not me going, oh, I had a whole bunch of money. It's not that. It's that I saw the value in it. And when we were both determined to make it happen, it was like, okay, then what are we waiting for? Mm-hmm. Nothing. Okay, let's go. I'll go spend the money then, as long as we're both going to get to work on it, So everything I've done in ball pythons has been kind of get cash flow positive and then reinvest that. This has been, let's spend the cash up front and get to market as quick as we can. We'll see how that plays out, but I'm confident in that decision for all the reasons we've talked about.
Very confident in it. And it's one of those things, like, it definitely takes some time to grow. They're animals, just like it's very similar to snakes, I know. And I'm thankful that I started with the chickens, so I started breeding the chickens. I learned how to, develop breeding styles and breeding, strategies and all that, and marketing as well with that. So it was just second nature. Like, well, rats are like pretty much way easier. I don't have to hatch. I don't have to hatch the eggs. I don't have to feed the moms or the babies. The moms take care of all that. So
right.
it was just like, now I have to learn, how to do it on a bigger scale though. That's
Right.
going to be kind of the trick.
Yeah. And balancing the time and the workload, home life, family life, chicken life, the other, the Jennifer says, I just can't get out of food production. All joking aside, there's a close, I mean, manufacturing, ball pythons, rodents, and farming is actually all very, very closely related. There's a, and actually, Taylor, I got to find it sometime, or maybe I'll just get a copy and I need to reread it anyway. There's a Toyota manufacturing philosophy, ethos, that in America we call lean, Lean. And one of the first books that my boss and business mentor ever gave to me on the topic, and he was a Toyota manufacturing guy, is called The Lean Farm. And I was like, why are you giving me a farming book? And he's like, go read this. The organization required to run a profitable farm on narrow margins is what the mindset you need to adopt on running restaurants with narrow margins. I was like, plus he was my boss, so I had to go read the book, but anyway, yeah, so there are parallels there. But one thing that I always, when I was in business and I did have to hire employees was just looking at passion. And if you've ever watched Taylor's social media, his passion for his animals is incredible. You can't fake that for that long. And one of the really funny things in my mind, like you guys know, like I want like efficiency, I want production. What can we get done in a square foot, production per square foot space? And so we were looking at Taylor's racks and he's like, well, not that rack. Those are kind of my pets. And I was like my initial reaction was like, we got to produce. And I was like, wait a minute, Adam, this is the partner that you want. If he's got a rack just for the cute racks that he wants to care, like that's the person you want breeding your rats. Right. So it was a really cool, like, it was just another one of those little, like, yep, check, we're going to do that. I do have to say, as always, man, Dale Richards down at Constricted Reptiles. Dale, first off, he's been just a great friend, and everybody gets awkward when you call somebody a mentor, but he's been a great resource and mentor for me, giving me a ton of opportunities. Dale has a huge rat production, or rodent production, and the timing didn't work out well, but I had talked to him in Florida before I moved up here, and I was like, Dale, I think I'm going to get in the rat game. Could I pick your brain? And he was like, well, it's at a different facility and it's about, an hour from my house. But, if you can be here this day, or this day, you come see whatever you want, do whatever you want in there. And I never was able to take him up on it, but that genuine courtesy and offer, again, it's just another person that wasn't going, no, you get out of here, keep the little guy little, the snobbery that's in any industry, but that we've seen sometimes in this one. So thanks is what I'm saying, Dale. It'd be great to see you up in at Tinley. JSA, we speak your name and up he pops, man. What's the expression? Your ears are burning or something? It's a silly expression. Joe, go. I'm not going to go do it again because now it's awkward now that I know that you're listening. But so much thanks for the support. It was another reinforcement that us just doing things the right way and being transparent with what we're doing and not trying to be underhand pays off. And you were a big part of that. So thanks. I appreciate you guys. Go buy some snakes from Joe or Dale or any of these other folks. They'll all be at Tinley but if they're out of your budget, come see your boy at the gift shop on your way out, up front in the lobby.
Yeah. So talk about that. You're going to be at in front of the lobby or what? In the lobby?
I've never been to Tinley. So my understanding is that Robin, as well as maybe Clutch, are set up in the lobby. And I don't know what that means. But that's where I'm going to be. There's a table there, and that's where I'll be vending. And those of y'all that missed the announcements up front, Chris from B and S Reptilia, he is going to bring some colubrids and boas as well to spice up the booth so I don't just get labeled ball pythons, you know? So we'll be there. Yeah, go rewatch the front again if you missed it. But another example of just somebody who's helped me along the way, believed in me, was willing to, you know, he's been loyal all along. And our goal was to try and get a table. And when I got a full table, I said, well, hey, bring something if you want, man. So it's cool. I'm happy. I'm feeling good.
Are you doing like a show there too? You said you posted about today.
Yeah, the proper rodents ice cream truck. My God, that would be so hip, like a food truck, but it was just rodents that we just pull up and oh man. 2 years, man. 2 years. We're just gonna
change the market.
Oh my God, it'd be awesome. We could have a blast with it. Sorry, I didn't pop it up on there. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Jennifer at HiViz is I lost my train of thought. Yeah, my plan at Tinley, I'm going to try it. Shout out to Leviathan. He kind of cooked this up in Daytona. And now, you know me, I can't just let things be. I got to take it to the exhausting level. But I don't think anybody else is doing it. I want to just set up my camera at the booth and just truly live stream the whole thing. So I'm going to bring the microphone, the lamp, the ring light, the laptop, and the Canon. And I'll set it up. And what we'll do is I'll keep it on mute because obviously that'd be intrusive to like record people's conversations at the booth or negotiating or sales or whatever. That's not cool. But you know, friends stop by, want to say, hey, want to see what's going on, you know, just kind of a quick, either what are you selling? What are you looking for? Who are you looking to hang out with? And, you know, what animal are you most excited to see? Boom, come on in. You want to get your brand out there? You want to hang out? Come hang out, man. So that's the plan. If that doesn't work, I'm still going to bring the equipment and I'll still set up some other interviews. For the streaming to work, I need bandwidth. I need crowd noise not to be that bad. I need the show not to shut me down. There's probably some legalities with it that I might be breaking. I don't know, man. We'll give it a shot. You know, I don't know. Again, I'm going to act in put my best foot forward with good intentions, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's the plan. That's the program.
Yeah, man, I'm stoked for you to tend your first and vend your first tenant. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm really thankful for it. I've talked about this sometimes. I have a bit of social anxiety. So like being in the crowd of Tinley, it actually doesn't sound that fun to me. Being in my own world where I have a little bit more control, or at least it's kind of like my show, those 8 feet are my show. I'm totally cool. I'm pumped. So, and I know that's weird. Like people don't, you know, like, wait a minute, that seems a little introverted for a guy that does 2 shows and blah, blah, blah. It's true though. It's me. I think I made the joke about like the middle school dance. Like I would just be standing in the corner by the punch bowl while everybody else was having fun, because I don't know. There's some scenes that just kind of tweak me, and it's not just big crowds. It's the crowds and the interaction. And then also like, there's a little bit of like a carnival barker feel to it, right? Like, how are you going to get somebody to buy your animal and not the next one? And I don't know. I'm more comfortable like being the salesman than the customer in that. Like, it's a weird pressure that's probably all in my mind. But like, I go through all those emotions of like, well, if I stop at their booth, I'm going to disappoint them if I don't buy something. And then they're going to want to talk to me and all of those things. I'm horrible. So I'm thrilled. My point is, I'm thrilled to be vending and attending. That's where I want to be.
Yeah, I'm very excited for you. Unfortunately, me and Danny are not going to make it this year, but we did have a very fun first experience last year, and it was insane to see everyone, and it was like unreal to be like, you know, these are the people I look up to on Instagram and YouTube, and I was just like, you know, I know you. Oh, I know you. I know you. So
right. That's the other thing. Like there's I don't know if celebrity is the right word, but there is the wow factor of like, even if there's not the celebrity to it, the people that you're really appreciative of. Yeah. Exactly. That maybe you've never had a chance to say that to in person. There's a difference between leaving a comment and then seeing them in person. And there's a bunch of people in the chat I've never met. This is a whole new market for me. Like, I got all the people that can't get to Daytona that are going to get to Tinley. Like that's coming too. So, I'm pretty pumped. Yeah. Thank you. Upstate New York, says Adam. That's just normal. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. It doesn't feel normal, but no, I'm much happier in kind of my own. I always joke, like when I play music, same thing. I'd rather be on stage than in a crazy crowd on like St. Patty's Day or whatever. That's not what I want. So, and hopefully in March, I got to figure out how to keep up all these relationships, but hopefully in March, hopefully I'll leave this October Tinley with a table ticket in March. And then we can have a, we can have two banners, Proper Royals and Proper Rodents behind the tables, you know? I don't.
You better let me come to that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, of course. Yes. Well, and the good news is then we'll have a full-on business with expenses and revenues, and that I can tell you which line that one's going to go on.
Exactly.
Yeah, most definitely. And absolute transparent truth to be told, Chris at B and S Reptilia basically made space on a couch, I think, for me. Otherwise I'd be inviting, I don't know how that'd fly with Danny being like, hey Danny, you know, Taylor and I got to hit the road, but yeah, I'd just tell you to jump in with me and we'll get out of here on I just don't have a place to put you up. Otherwise
no, you're good. You're good. No. So, back to the rodents, definitely getting into a business with someone is always, you know, risky. And we looked at every, you know, negative and positive thing, you know, it's something to look at and evaluate, but like, you know, this could mess up our friendship, but I don't think that's gonna, you know, be in this case. I think that we both add, you know, a different side to it that is a positive, and we're both going to learn from each other in the long run. So, you know,
well, I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, the risk and stress of starting a business, man. I mean, it's not as risky as a marriage, but there's serious money involved. Like I hope I was honest in the offer I made to buy in. And then clearly we both spent time and money since then as well. So we got a little ways to go. But I agree with you. And I think the strengths, sometimes the clear, almost forced division is really good. And I'll use the example of chefs I've worked with. At the end of the day, I can't do what the chefs could do, or else I would have been a chef. I left. I hung up the coat. I left the kitchen and I went to the business administrative executive end because I couldn't do what they could do. I could do other things to help them and magnify them and then together us be great partners. And in this way, I literally can't do what you do. I don't have the space. I don't have the facility. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the support from my wife. There's no way those rats are going in my garage. And I mean, in an emergency, we'd figure it out. But yeah. And then my allergy and my time and my day, it's not there. So in that way, I give you my thoughts. I give you my input. But in that way, at the end of the day, all I could do is support you and come up with consensus. And that was the same with chefs. Like it never, and again, we're partners, so it's not that anybody could be the boss anyway, but I was technically their boss, but it never did any good to be like the shouting boss. It was, what's your vision? Here's what I think will work. Here's where I think our troubles will be. How do we go chase it down? And how do I support you doing it? Let's go. And that was the past. I could tell you exactly. That was from October 2006. And here we are, October 2023. That's the last 17 years of my career. That may as well have been my job description. So literally, I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
Throw up Bosa's comment on there.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You got it. Kike, I mean, there's some proprietary things you can't just share all willy-nilly, man. You need to charge people for that. You need to franchise that bad boy, right?
Yeah.
Go get
Rodent
rodentdash.com right now.
That's too good.
At least it's, time stamped on the internet that it was yours to start with. But, man, if that gets taken, that's on you, man. I think it's great. I got to catch up on these, pretty sure you have your own bedroom, Adam. You could share a bed with Taylor. Look, man, when I toured as a duo, there were nights it was like, hey, if you want to cough up money for an expensive hotel room, fine. Otherwise, it's the Airbnb with the king size bed, man. Like, all right, going to sleep. See ya. Yeah, Chris, thank you so much though for putting us up, man. Straight Blast says we have a couch. Oh, look at all this. There's all kinds of spaces. We just need a little bit of
pity party on the podcast.
That's right. Well, hey, again, the relationship stuff. By the way, thanks guys for hanging out. There's 50 plus of you for like 40 minutes now. Yeah, Jen, thank you so much. Jen says Tinley, Daytona, Pomona seem like the Triple Crown of shows. Probably meant to be vended 2/3 this year. Yeah, so I think they say in sports there's no moral victories. There is a little bit from a marketing and a presence and a relationship standpoint, but I need to. This is an expensive undertaking going to Tinley, so I am hoping for some results. I'm not saying that in a pity way. I think one of my favorite lines in restaurants was, because there's always this debate of atmosphere and ambiance and service and blah, blah, blah. The end of the day is what's on the plate good. At the end of the day, are my animals good? Are they what the customer wants? And that's what I hope it is in Tinley. So I'm hoping for a big weekend. I'm excited for it. I know the situation in the market. I understand that too.
Yep. But and any super chat goes to the proper rodents tonight too. So shout out to super chats.
That's right. We will fund this.
Yeah. No, and don't forget to smash that like button.
Thank you for that. I will say I have truly in a moment of a therapy session here. I have much more trepidation about how the ball pythons make sense than the rodents will make sense. I really 100%. Do. That doesn't mean I'm going anywhere from the ball pythons. It means I'm jumping into rodents to make sure I can keep the ball pythons making sense until they'll come back around on their own, oh wow, Jen says that Jennifer says that there are a couple shops that DoorDash feeders. I got to say to Tito's credit, yeah, Tito used to deliver for me, but I also think that was before he really knew me, and he didn't want anybody near his home or animals. He was like, nah, I'm going to Google you, and then I'll decide if you could be a customer or not. It was great. What is this? I don't think that's going to go well for his anniversary. I don't know what you're talking about, Keith. What's wrong here? Which anniversary is that? Rats in the garage. Yeah, that wouldn't go well for my anniversary. Anyway.
Yeah. Also, I'm getting involved in a business with someone that is allergic to rats. So shout out, everyone, give me strength.
Well, I have, believe it or not, I've been researching between all the dust in the drywall and the rats. I've been researching the masks. I'm ready to. If anybody,
okay, you're good.
Yeah, if anybody has recommendations on what they go with on the rats, on the masks, let me know. But yeah, I will be investing. There's going to be an expense on the expense line of a face mask,
ventilator or something.
Yeah, I actually think
respirator.
A respirator. To be honest, the ones for like the drywall work, the N95. Particulate rated and hypoallergenic rated. They were good. And you could buy filters that you replace kind of deal. So yeah, Rob, you're right. I mean, day-to-day dirty work.
I was going to say that one.
Yeah, but I'm going to be delivering them. I mean, they're still going to be in my vehicle. And, I mean, I'm sure Taylor's not going to be like, I'm not delivering anything, like if it makes sense, he'll deliver them. But by and large, I'll be, Dale says he's allergic too.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. All right, Dale, we got to compare notes at Tinley on a
Yeah, you
mask,
guys got to
man.
talk.
Yeah. Plus, like, what a great like Instagram selfie that'd be, like just the two of us in our masks, like head together. I don't. So
Well, you just did one in your new snake room with the mask. So
I
I mean,
did. Yeah, that was with the man. I was sanding the
drywall.
ceiling. Yeah, sanding the drywall ceiling, looking up, and it was just like pouring into my eyes. I was like, I don't have goggles, and I was like, screw it, I'm throwing my aviators on.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, upstate New York says I'll have like full on. Yeah, I'll just have the tube out the side of the building. Yeah, Alan,
Yeah,
what's going
Cream to
on, man?
Clutch. Actually, for my chickens, I'm sponsored by a hemp company, and I've been talking with him a lot about it, and I have some trial runs on some hemp, and it's been working really good. But it's just hard to scale at a large scale. It's a lot more expensive for hemp than pine.
Oh, we got to go find new advertisers then. If you guys don't know, Instagram, there is now a Proper Rodents Instagram. You can follow our journey
everyone
there.
go follow.
Yeah, that's there. And that is Taylor and I both have access to that. Clearly, Taylor's very knowledgeable on social media platforms. So we'll probably both throw stuff up there. Like actually tonight, it was kind of funny. I was like, wait, we got to post that. And I was like, wait, are you going to post or am I? Because then I could see us both like posting conflicting reels of the same thing, you know? Yeah, Alan, the other thing though is really funny. Even my, on nights when I do, usually I feed half the collection one night and half the other night. So, you know, it's about 70 to 80 rodents, but usually by the end of even feeding frozen, I'm all congested just from being around the rats that way. So we will see. I don't think it's just the pine, but it could be magnifying it. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, good note there. And Taylor brought up a great point earlier, guys. Any insight that you have, anything that you think is going to help us, anything that you think we're idiots on, like maybe don't call us idiots, but you know, like that you think we're missing on. I was telling Taylor, and Taylor brought it up. Taylor was like, and one of the things I really like about him again that made him seem investable to me, or that I wanted to partner with, was he's thirsty to learn. Like, and it doesn't mean he doesn't know what he's doing. What I'm saying is ego can get in the way. If we ever stop learning, it's really foolish for us. And I mean that in all facets of life. Yeah. And so seeing and hearing that from you was really great. But I was telling Taylor, like, oh, I used to hate customer feedback. Like, oh, in restaurants, it's the worst. And then the Food Network, I've been in restaurants long enough that I was around before the Food Network was. I can remember when suddenly, what was him? The BAM dude, he got popular. And then the woman, Rachel, whatever her name was, and they all exploded at the same time. And then Gordon Ramsay came in behind them, and suddenly every person that came into the restaurant thought that they were experts and that they could run a restaurant. And like, oh, it was the worst. I never wanted input. But when I did get to some of the more executive levels, I actually came to really appreciate the value. And I learned the skill of, all right, sift through the junk, because somewhere in there's a nugget of knowledge. So you got to deal with the junk and you got to wade through the trash, but somewhere in there's nuggets of knowledge. So Rachel Ray, yeah, that's who I'm talking about.
Throw up the beast morph comment and talking about the property.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Thankfully, I have 6 acres, and I literally have a spreader, and I spread all my rat poop out in the field. That's my favorite part. I love that.
Wow, I didn't know that part. I'm
going to make a reel about it. It's so much fun. I have a mini spreader on my ATV, and it has like a little conveyor belt, and has a wheel where it kicks it all out. So I just load it up with all the rat poop, go out in the field, turn on the spreader, and helping the environment. So,
hey, let me ask you on that topic, because I'm going to run into it here as well. In Florida, it drove me nuts between cocoa, paper towels, and snake poo. all the waste. And I mean, I was throwing away plastic bags endlessly. So I started composting, and then I moved before, well, I was going to say before I could put it to use. That's not true. I spread it. It was incredible how much I produced. Do you want any of that stuff for you? I mean, I'm not putting you on there. You
what
can
is
say
it,
no.
cocoa?
It would be cocoa, paper towels, and I would have
towel is a little. We'll have to look at the paper towel stuff. I don't know how well it does. Like,
yeah, I was able
back
to
into the.
Yeah, I don't know if you could spread it directly. I was able to.
Well,
I guess what I'm saying is, if I'm able to compost it, do you want the compost to spread? I'll do the composting here, and then when it's ready, because I've got a little 1/4 acre lawn.
I got a big old garden, so that always helps too. So
yeah, so we'll find out.
Yeah, we got the acres. The best part is I got the land, I got the space, I got the time, and I got the ability to do this. Like that's just alone, huge right there.
Yeah, I know it is. Well, again, all the reasons I literally couldn't do it. And I know that there's people that say that they wouldn't have the time to do what I do. Like, fortunately, I work at home. That's one of my resources. I can do these 2 shows. I could pause my remote work to go film with Robin today. Like, you can't do some of that stuff if you're tied to a traditional work schedule, which I was for a long time. So, I mean, I'm not saying that to brag. I empathize with that, but again, using those resources or those secret weapons that each of us have and really magnifying it is
I'm doing everything in my power to make this be able to work from home. So this is a huge part of it, and you're helping me achieve my dream as well. So I appreciate you.
Earlier, when I said I'll keep some of the conversations private, that was one of the things you told me was I want this to be what I do. I was like,
yeah, I'm fired up. I love it. I love the animals, and I appreciate all of them. So I know the value it can bring, and I know that it's a fine line between animals and money. So, I appreciate animal life.
Right.
So I want the highest quality feeders. I want, treat them with the highest quality respect, and, be able to provide great feed to my snakes to be able to create more life. It's just like the circle of life.
It is. And yeah, it gets sticky because we don't like to envision where that great steak on our plate came from, for example.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the fact. And that's where it is. And if we can serve a hobby and an industry and people that we love, and work together, which is so cool. Like, how often you get to work with 2 people, like, totally into what they're doing. Again, I said it not on this show, but in many shows, a clear vision and a clear sort of unified mission just makes things so much more feasible. And so it's not going to be easy, but it suddenly becomes feasible. And when there's a united mission, and because things inevitably are going to get tough, there's going to be some problem, something's going to happen. And that mission is what's going to make us go, no, not screw this. How do we fix it? And okay, let's pull each other up and get going again, So I'm pumped about it. I sort of wish it wasn't all just piled on at the same time of Tinley and everything else. But hey, what a great problem, right? Like, I mean, just that there could be this much going on this far in. I never would have dreamed. I dreamt that I could do something with ball pythons, and that, I could hatch some
You're making it happen, man. You're really doing it.
I am. And I put a lot of pressure on myself, and right now feels like a really tough time because of revenues and that sort of thing. But if I step back, I'm also only 60 days removed from my greatest month that I've ever had of any income. Almost. I have to think about it. That might've been my greatest month of any income, even in my, like,
exactly, man. That's
it was
crazy.
Really close. Yeah, it was really close. So, anyway, that is cool. Let's talk snakes for a minute, Taylor. How far are you? Is this the winter that you'll start pairing?
Well, so when was our show? I don't know. I think it was like May, maybe, or June.
The one I did there with you?
No, before our very first show. I was, unfortunately, snakes take a lot more time than you realize. Okay.
Yeah.
Just the hard way. Just like the great Chrissy Eaton said, this is 3 years. It's not 2 years, and it's 3 years.
Yep.
So there's a lot of good signs, a lot of good growth going. I have a lot of amazing snakes. I'm not worried. I'm very anxious. I just want to see some beautiful snakes hatch out. I know what I'm doing is in the works, but I'm just anxious for the results. So
yeah, I get it. It's how I feel right now with the rats. I'm like, where are they? Come on, they're all there. We're feeding them. There's the home for them. Yeah. Come on. And you got to wait. There's nothing to do about it,
Animals are it's very tricky. It's not just like a product that you can make, today. You got to really treat them with the most respect that you can. And it's time. It's time. Like, just like Chris.
Yeah, Chris
B&S. Yeah. Time right there. It's just,
that same boss that I was telling you is a really good mentor of mine. He had he has the typical, some of the corporate stuff in his office, but he had a little plaque that basically says, focus on doing all the small stuff right, and the big stuff will take care of itself. And that's the time, that's the food, that's the care, that's the respect, the infrastructure, the rack space and all of that. Man, I was so, I hope I told you, but maybe I didn't. I was so it was really cool to see how fast, you tackled the, getting the water lines back functioning again. Like, in my mind, I really was like, I'm going to make a time next, whatever day, 1 week. This was 2-3 weeks back now, but I really was like, I'll make some time one day and we'll just come up and I'll knock it out with you. Not because I think I'm some expert, but just because two sets of hands might be better than one. And you were just like, boom, I got it. And I was like,
right.
Yes, just get this thing, right?
Yeah. But we're both equally just as fired up about it. And that's where I kind of see that a partnership working very very well together equally. Well,
it will. I'm looking forward to it very, very much. And I misspoke. You did have one clutch this year, right?
Yeah, I had one clutch this year. Yeah. They're all doing really well. Everyone's eating well, so I'm stoked on that. I haven't sold anyone, but I'm not tripping yet. So,
have you put them out there for sale? What are they? Just start selling, right? Go,
right? We got some pieds. Yeah, there's two females and 2 males. I'll post it on my story. But some pieds. They're all like OD and leopard, and they're all 50% het lavender. They're all pieds though. So, cool. And then in the future, I'm definitely got some great stuff hatching out here pretty soon. We got some eggs. I'm definitely hoping for within the end of the year. Hopefully, it's going to be like a weird timing in that first year. Your kind of your schedule is like all thrown off. Maybe they'll hatch, or maybe they'll lay in December, January, whatever. And then you'll eventually get your kind of your rhythm. Eggs are good for me. I don't care what freaking month they're coming.
Well, that's true. And it's funny. My experience was my first year, they were all kind of like in season. So
sure.
May to August was when they all laid. And now this year it's May to, I've got one female that just hit.
Shout out to, you had a clutch today, right?
Yeah, I did have a clutch today. Yeah. That girl laid today. First time in 3 years. She finally laid like that. Her story is maybe I'll tell it in a second anyway, just when we're kind of yammering on here at the end. But I have another female that's at 30. I just ultrasounded her yesterday. She's at 30 millimeters right now. So she's going to lay in December. And I'm like,
what was the total egg count? I saw 9 was the last I saw. So
she laid 11 eggs, and 9 were good. 1 was a boob egg and 1 was a slug. So the 9 were beautiful though. Beautiful developed veins, really nice. The boob egg I stuck in the incubator, but there's nothing in that, man. That looked like a clear light bulb when I shined the light through it. And then of course I'm glad you said that. I think I forgot. I threw the slug right in the trash and I haven't taken the trash out. That would, I'm going to do that after the show. I'll tell the story real quick. That girl that laid today, I bought her in August of 2020. She was my first, I told Kelly, I was like, it's time to buy a breeder ready female. I want to buy a female that'll be ready. And I compare her this winter. I'm going in.
No.
Yeah. And Kelly was like, well, all right. And that actually was the catalyst for me starting the YouTube, because Kelly goes, okay, you're going to have a whole bunch of ball pythons. Then what? I was like, I'm going to sell them. She's like, who's going to buy them? And I was like, people. She's like, you better find the people. Yeah. And that literally was why I started I was like, well, I want this ball python, and Kelly's got a fair point. How am I going to balance these two? I'll start a YouTube channel. That's how I'm going to get a customer base. So that's what I did. And I bought, she was listed as a breeder pastel, and she was $200. And I was like, okay, that's going to be the perfect one for me to start with. I can afford it. And, you know, great. So I get her, and there's two parts to the story that are a little bit crazy. One being, and I've told this before, so some of the audience probably heard this. One being that the guy that sold her to me, and I won't say who it is, but I do he's still in the industry. Like, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks later, first I didn't hear about it. He never checked on the animal, never thank you, never nothing. Then like 4 or 5 weeks out of the blue, hey man, I want to buy that girl back from you.
Oh no.
Oh, you want to buy just a regular old pastel back from me, huh? And I was like, what's up? And he's like, I just really miss her. And I'm like, okay. I go to his Facebook, like, this how bad of a underhanded, like, this is the way that you don't do all the stuff I was talking about doing right earlier. This is the way you don't do stuff. I go to his Facebook page, and at the same time, he's telling me, oh, I'll just buy her back for what you paid for her and not tell you why. Her clutch hatched out a bunch of kryptons. He was trying to make het clowns, and he produced kryptons. So that means she's het cryptic. He doesn't tell me that. He tries to just basically take advantage of me, not be transparent. Oh, and this is not a knock on smokers. If people smoke, I don't care. But she stunk like cigarette smoke. Like, just don't like smoke in your snake room if you're going to, you know what I mean? Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, I would say that around your child, around your dog, any of it, whatever. So like all of those things, it drove me nuts. And I was like, no. And then I was like, yeah, I got a good deal on this breeder. Then 2021, she didn't lay. She didn't go. 2022, she didn't lay. She didn't go. 2023, finally. The first one that I buy is the last one to lay, except for the last one that's going to go in December. So
what was she paired to?
She was paired to an Enchi clown. So looking for pastel Enchi kryptons, and they'll all be, the ones that aren't kryptons will be 100% het clown.
Yeah. Nice.
So let's see. Nixon says same here, Adam. Okay. Glad we're on the same page. I'm not sure about what, but I'm glad we're on the same page there. So, also
Brandon helped me a lot. Brandon helped me a lot with the reptile or the rodent rack. So, you know, shout out Brandon. He was big help with the nozzles and the nipples, whatever you want to call them.
Yep. Oh, Brandon's got from 2018. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
That's brutal, man. Yeah. That starts to get into
is she infertile or something?
Well, that gets into like the sunk cost fallacy. Like, that's where we're like, no, I got so much in it, I got to get something out from her. I don't know, man. I don't know.
You need to get eggs now.
Yeah. That Creative Corolofus, that is Rick. Rick is one of the guys that welcomed me when I first got here. Never met him. He's part of the Minnesota Herpetological Society. He's a gecko breeder. Go check him out. And he's going to be in Tinley, and he'll be at the Gecko Symposium on that sounds really official, right? Like, I need to have a symposium of some sort one day. That's
pretty cool.
That's when you know you've made it, man. He'll be at the Gecko Symposium on like I said, I'm a little loopy tonight on Thursday night. So travel safe, Rick. I will see you over there in Tinley. Taylor, if people somehow don't know you, because you've been on the show, you're right up there with Steven and Brandon for the most number of times on the show.
Man. I'm trying to be co-host.
Well, hey, you're stuck with me now, man. We got financial paperwork to prove that. You're stuck with me now. But yeah. Actually, that's what you should do, Brandon. I'm going to make you a lowball offer on that girl, and then she'll go.
She's going to hatch for you. She's going to lay for you.
We're going to name her Antoine, because that's how that's going to go. She's going to turn out to be het for something else too.
Right.
I haven't seen the, I got to see this. I got to say, Taylor, sorry, back to my other thought. If people don't know you, where can they find you? Because you guys, if you don't know Taylor, you owe it to yourself to check out his social media.
Chakra chickens.
Chakra chickens.
Chakra chickens, chakra scales, proper rodents. So, just because the name, we're 50-50 partners. I ain't tripping on the chakra stuff, even though I wanted it something chakra, but it's okay. I'll forgive you.
You didn't even bring it up. You were like, that's it.
I know, it just didn't flow. It just didn't flow. Chakra rodents doesn't sound good.
No, well, we got to work that. We got to work it in somewhere. We'll figure it out. We have time. Like, this is going to be a long process. No,
right? I'm not tripping. Yeah. No, I'm really excited for the adventure. I'm just, I want to be able to provide, so I want to be able to have as many. This is with the rodent game. It's such a numbers game. You have to have so many numbers. You have to have so many breeders, and the space and the quality and the time. So that's going to be the biggest hurdle for us, for me as a breeder, is getting to that level of expanding. But we have a great support system. I got great people around me that supported me with knowledge. So really, it just, I don't know, put the foot down to the pedal. Let's go. That's
right. We've done it so far. I don't think people realize. So this, excuse me, I first dropped off snakes to you
probably like 2 months ago, I would say.
A little bit longer. I think it was mid or late July. Because the plan,
10 weeks.
Yeah. The original plan. Yeah. The original hope was going to be about 7 weeks from then I would be up here. And I actually got here in about 8, but I had to rent the place for 2 weeks. So that turned it into about 9 weeks that they were with you. And that, when I picked them up, was September 17th. So, gosh, 9 would have been, maybe mid-July, man. So anyhow, and so we've been cooking this up. So we were buying racks, we were figuring out names, we were figuring out how the money was going to look like, the, kind of who's responsible for what. And then also one thing that I thought was really valuable, as long as we were working on it and as excited as we both were, I don't know about you, but I absolutely took a lot of time to think about it too. Even like the last click of send the money was, I want to make sure this is, because in life we can get excited. There could be impulse buys. Like, we can't just impulse start a business for real, So I really appreciated that too. And there was never any pressure or now, it was a good flow the whole way. So I'm pumped about 100%. It. I'm stoked.
Me too, man. I'm stoked. Yeah. We're just going to be growing and growing. Kind of our next adventure is looking at, some more ARS racks, and holding back stuff and producing some good quality feeders. And I forgot to even mention, I'm going to be doing quails too, as an option, for, whatever feeders, whatever animals, reptiles eat them. I'm going to have frozen quails too locally.
Nice.
So that's going to be a fun adventure. I had 3 snakes eat quails this week.
Cool.
Yeah, they were fresh killed. It wasn't frozen thawed. So that would be my next adventure. But they took it right away.
I want to check that out. I got to try it.
It was really cool.
That is cool. Wow. Yeah, that's a whole other rabbit hole we can go down. Man. All right. Well, Taylor, I know that we had talked about it sort of being a shorter show, but we're almost at an hour and a half.
No.
We can wrap it up. You know what? Hang on. Well, we still got 53 people here. Guys, I got so excited and talking about myself. Let's go backwards tonight. Check out Keith at Creative Genetics. My apologies to the sponsors.
He was in the comments too.
Yeah, Keith is here. Keith is out in California, but he just had a clutch of stranger ball python, stranger combos. And Keith, correct me in the comments, but I know that they are POS triple hets, pied clown, axanthic. Is that correct? on all of them, and he has had, and another person in the audience can attest to, he has produced and sold Stranger Het VPIs. So he's got a lot going on in that Stranger project. Check out Keith at Creative Genetics. I do own one of his snakes, and kudos to the man. He picked up 2 snakes from me from his local FedEx hub today out there in California as well. So Keith, it's been great doing business with you, and I look forward to doing more. And obviously, you're a sponsor for several months to come here. Also, Chris at B and S Reptilia. I gave him a little promo at the beginning, but check out Chris for all your reptile needs when it comes to snakes. He's got species in colubrids, boas, blood pythons, other kinds of pythons, ball pythons. Check him out. His knowledge base is exceptional. And I can tell you that I know personally, and I've seen him personally at Daytona and some other shows. His goal is to pick up a new species every year to start breeding. And I think he exceeds the goal of 1 a year. So you might just find something cool that Chris has that nobody else has. So check him out. He's also the regional distributor in Pennsylvania of the Chipper Cocoa. Go check him out on that. Cold Blooded Cafe. What can I say? They've been really good to me, and now they're supportive of this endeavor. Trust them for your national frozen rodent needs. I have for a long time, and God forbid anything goes south with this man over here next to me. I'm going to have to go, crawling back to him, which I would, no, all joking aside, they've been great resources and extremely supportive in encouraging Taylor and I. Use the promo code PROPER10. They're going to save you 10% on your next frozen rodent order. And of course, Redline. Come see me and Robin and the Redline team at Tinley this weekend. We're going to be in the lobby set up. I will have animals. I will have ball pythons. I'm sure I'll have Redline swag. And aside from just swag and the shipping products that they have, their Redline science products are fantastic. He doesn't even compensate me for promoting that, but cleaning utensils and all kinds of reptile keeping tools that they
are you going to have your cups?
I will have the cups. How are the cups doing for you? You are a proud user of the cup.
ARS, they fit perfect into the ARS 55 40s, the 55s. Perfect. I love it. Dishwasher safe.
Dishwasher safe, recyclable, made in America. They'll be at Tinley. At least I'll pay for some gas on cups. All right. Come see me. Guys, travel safe. If you're going to Tinley, come say, hey, Taylor, I can't wait for the future. Thanks so much for your trust in me.
Everyone, please go like the Instagram page, Proper Rodents. We'll be doing fun stuff. No feeding videos. That was my one rule. No feeding videos. But we'll do cute rat videos.
We'll do cute rat videos. Should we give a spoiler on the first video? No, we'll just do it. You're gonna create
it'll be posted tonight,
or we'll just slap it up there. Who knows? It'll be one of the. Are you gonna be in it, or are you gonna leave? Because usually you're the star in your videos, man.
Yeah, I gotta be in it.
All right, man. I can't wait to see it. Taylor,
thank you so much for trusting me, and I'm looking forward to the endeavor, and thank you everyone for supporting it and listening along for the hour and a half of us rambling.
Rock and roll. Good night, everybody. I'm clicking the button. Yep. See ya.